whoa, stop the presses. Hey, first of all, watch the film. Before you watch this, just stop, pause the video, watch the film. I want you to watch it first, form your own opinions, because these are my own opinions. But watch the film first. Support independent filmmakers. Just do it. Do it now, please. Thank you. But come back and watch this video, and watch it again like 100 times. Like refresh the page so I can get a bunch of views. Thank you. Hello everybody, it's me, Jackson. This is me amping myself up for the recording. The Sun Vanished is a Twitter alternate reality game about a world where the sun just kind of decides it's just not gonna today, you know? And the account documents the events of this faceless main character as he navigates his way through this anomaly. And more recently, Aidan Elliott, the creator of that account, made a proof of concept short film based on the property, and I've got a few things I want to say about it. Now, I want to do my best to try and critique this thing the best and most objectively that I can, because I can see a lot of criticisms from people who may be more familiar with the account going into this short film, being like, what the heck, where's all the spooks? Why is there so much Gee whiz, man, where's all the spooks? Because I think focusing more on the lover's angle is actually a great turn in adapting the Twitter thread into a more cinematic format. Now, when I first saw the short film, I was actually just going to do a basic review on it, saying what I liked and didn't like about it, but now I think this is a great opportunity to go into why I think the Sun Vanished Twitter account is so iconic and memorable, and parallel that to my feelings on the short film. Now go get some transportation, head on over to the nearest snack shop, get some goodies, just pile up on it, cause you're having a you day today as I talk to you about the Sun Vanished. Now, I'd like to first talk about the Sun Vanished Twitter account because I think it's worth mentioning what makes this series so special. Personally, what made it shine from the get-go were the videos and photos posted to the account documenting the world post-sun vanishing and our main character reacting to the insidiously eerie things happening in real time. And the first thing you're gonna notice about these videos is that it's pretty freaking dark, pretty dark. And right off the bat, I think this works incredibly well for the type of atmosphere the story is setting up. All of the videos and pictures are taken straight from our protagonist's phone, and because it's pitch black everywhere, the footage has a really dim, grainy look to it. And pair that with Twitter just compressing the files even more, we're met with a wall of darkness that we can barely see through, and that really sells the creepy ambiance of this world. Now, comparing this to the short film, there's just freaking light just shooting everywhere, it's light, colors and shit. And while aesthetically it can be very pretty, I don't think it conveys the idea that the sun's just, popped out to the store to get some cigarettes. If the film hadn't shown me those newsreels of people talking about the sun being gone, then I never really would have picked up on the idea that that was ever the case. Everything is brightly lit, obviously to get good lighting and probably due to where they were shooting, but it all just looks like nighttime. None of it gives the impression that things are truly off. With the Twitter account, everything from the beginning has this very dark vibe to it, and it's very cool to be submerged into a world where the only sources of light are from the things that you're supposed to be running away from. Like when our guy's outside walking around, then he shuts his light off to reveal the threats just blinking away. And I also love that the shrubbery kind of lights up to look like a demon face. I don't know if that was intentional, but bonus points to demon face. Another thing I think was really superb about this account was its use of sound. Being given practically a black screen for most of the videos, we rely on two things. One, trying to see through the grainy and dimly lit footage, and two, listening to the abnormal sounds that are out and about. Please allow me to show you some of my favorite videos from the account that I feel perfectly demonstrate what I'm talking about. Oh, hello, you can fuck right off with that. Well, while the glass breaking effect did sound a bit, stock soundy, I think this does a great job at translating the horror of the situation to the viewer. Ooh, it's good, boy. Ooh, I don't know about that one. Because of our limited sight and increased sound detection, our mind uses its imagination to put across an image to what we aren't seeing. And hearing those odd disturbances like the glass knocking and the staccato breathing of the person going, "The sun is back," really helps put us into that situation for a moment, hypothesizing ourselves in those instances. Also, that clicking sound that the frickin' threats make, it's incredible. I can kind of surmise how it was achieved technically, but that still doesn't take anything away from just how creepy it is. It's the most iconic part of the series to me, and being such a simple sound really helps it stick in your brain a few days after you've heard it. So very nice job, very nice. And now I'd like to move on to the short film just to give you a vibe of what I think worked and didn't work about it. Firstly, I want to say that I don't think this guy's a bad actor, but I do think there should have been some clearer takes of his lines, because oh boy, does he mumble a lot throughout this thing.
Hey, did you get here safe? Because you severed all contact with me for 3 years. I'm not trying to ruin my past with you again right now. And the only reason you broke that silence tonight is the end of the fucking world. I was expecting us to never talk again.
What did you expect?
Obviously not this. Okay, but it sounded okay a second ago on the phone, so.
But I think he did a good job, same for the lovely actors who played Sky. Actually, what was his name again?
Sky. A Q?
Oh, bless you. Oh, wait, sorry, what was it?
A Q?
Q? Wait, that's his name? However, they do take up quite a bit of the screen time in this short because, believe it or not, this thing ain't about horror. It's about love. And I want to say that I really like the concept of linking the sun vanishing incident narratively to the love/breakup story going on between our two main characters. What I don't like about it is that we're not really given a whole lot to digest about what their relationship is truly about. And it's clear from the filmmaking and the sheer percentage of this film taken up by these two that this is a key aspect that Aiden wanted to get across. And of course, in a life or death situation, these two just gotta air their issues out, man. Just give them some time. And even though I wasn't too crazy about that aspect of the short, I really took a liking to the visual filmmaking going on, particularly near the end where everything lights up as the two get on better terms with each other. I felt that it helped thematically to what I was saying earlier about linking the absence of the sun to the issues that this relationship is experiencing. There are also some other nice shots sprinkled throughout, and I really think the visual elements of this film are the standouts. It does bring back the problem of the lackluster horror elements in comparison to the foundation of the original series. Other than the bright lighting through most of the dialogue scenes, when the threat shows up, it just feels less intimidating than it did with the Twitter videos. I can't believe I just put those words together in a sentence. It could be somewhat because the score behind these moments never really ceases, and so there is still this prominent theatrical element that sticks out through the whole scene. So matching the bright lighting with the over-dramatic music just makes this whole thing feel more like a film, meaning that I don't really have room to dream or imagine anything. It really just spells it all out for me. Obviously, this is a film and not done narratively from the perspective of a self-documentarian, and I understand that there is some trouble of converting the energy of the Twitter videos into a more cinematic format, but I think it's just too damn out in the open and lacks a lot of the mystery I think this series needs most of all in order to keep the threats interesting. If it were me, and I know it's not, I'd just knock down that exposure just like a couple hundreds of thousands. I understand wanting the subjects of your shot to be well lit, but I also think that the more you take away from the viewer, the more they have to fill in themselves, and that's when the scarier elements of this thing begin to shine. I just think the horror scenes in this are just too flashy, and I wish they were more grim and spooky, rather than the thriller vibe the music is suggesting. It's probably worth noting that I'm not a filmmaker. I'd like to be, but presently I'm not, and I'm also not that familiar with horror movies. I'd like to be, but presently I am not. But I am strongly opinionated in favor of subtlety in certain scenes, especially character-driven moments. Just having dialogue explain the relationship between these two just feels like I'm being flat out told what the situation is without much subtext. Whereas if their immediate introductions to us the viewers were more subtle and done with less dialogue, their facial expressions would have a chance to show us something's wrong instead of telling us. Also, I think it would make things more dramatic because, you know, they're supposed to be very quiet in this scene, and so having her whisper shout as they're having an argument kind of deflates the emotion of the scene.
No!
If it were done more silently and with a focus on their facial expressions, I think this whole scene could have been a lot stronger. But then again, I don't know what the fuck I am talking about. But I mean, I do, but you know, I mean, he's a filmmaker, I'm not a filmmaker, what am I doing? As well, I don't think that the threat in the film was all that threatening. In my mind, the flashing lights were never really associated with a human body form of any type, but rather just an entity that was only ever lit up by its own light emissions. Here it just looks like a guy in a boiler suit, and save for the eerie confusion of what's emitting that flashing light from its head, loses a lot of that spooky anonymity that I feel makes these creatures so interesting to begin with. Of course, I can imagine budget constraints and limitations in filming this, as it is just a proof of concept, but you could argue that the Twitter thread was even more amateur, and yet I feel that did a better job at masking the terror of these unidentifiable beings. And with all of that being said, you did a good job, guys. It wasn't boring, it had a lot of production behind it, I liked a lot of the visual imagery despite how I feel it relates to the more horror-ish elements. The main actress gave a very nice performance, and this proof of concept was a very good proof of concept. If I may indulge you with some parting words, I have the utmost respect for Aiden Elliott for creating this viral Twitter sensation and being able to turn it into something with a greater production behind it. It can be easy, I'm sure, to let the pressure of this thing you've created get in the way of what kind of a filmmaker you want to be and what kind of a story you want to tell. And I completely respect and admire how he's beginning to expand upon that. Hey, I'll tell you a little secret. I don't know if you know this, but this was all my opinion. I tried my best to give objective reasons for my subjective thoughts, and this is the fruit of my labor. I just wanted to give my thoughts on this short, firstly because I can't shut up, but more importantly because I want this thing to succeed. And I think that while there are some steps that could be taken to enhance the concept you've given me proof of, this short film is a great start in trying to adapt this story into a more cinematic medium and giving it the legs to become its own TV series or whatever feels appropriate. He's got a really cool world here, and I'm really excited to see him expand upon it. Aiden, I love you. Please don't kill me. And that's it. Oh, we did it. Another video in the bank, boys. This video is sponsored by me. I'm doing a soft launch of my Patreon. If you like the videos that I make and you want to support me, there is a way. I'm really bad at selling myself and like asking. I'm not asking for money. I'm just saying it's there. There's a link. It's in the description. There's a card right here. It'll be at the end of the video. I'm just saying it's there. You know, I love these videos, and I put negotiable amounts of effort into them. So if you like them and you want to support me, it's there. I'm not telling you to do anything. God, I am so allergic to upselling myself at all. But thank you so much for watching. Aiden, seriously, I love you. No ill will. I have the most respect for you and what you're doing. This is how I get my content out, and you do what you do best. This video is sponsored by Patreon. I don't know. I'm not going to do anything else. That was it. That was most genuine. That was the most genuine take of that I could do. I love you all. Thank you for watching. That's the video.